Okay, so we're moving into the second part of our statistics unit, and in this lesson we're going to be looking at various statistical measures, and the first one being per capita. Per capita is a term that you may be familiar with. In statistics, per capita basically means the average per person in a population. So in the first example, it says many business, health, and economic statistics are expressed as per capita figures. In March 2008, the national wealth of Canada was 5.7, what would that be? Trillion. $5.7 trillion. So $5,702,000,000,000. The national debt was $23 million, and the population of Canada was 33,223,840. And the question asks us, what was Canada's per capita wealth? So in order to figure that out, we'll take the total wealth, which we said was, grab the pen here, which we said was $5,702,000,000,000. Now, depending on your calculator, it very likely will not hold this entire number, so hopefully you don't run into too many numbers this large in your homework. We're going to divide the total wealth by the population. So the population was 33,223,840. So the wealth per capita would be $171,623.75. Basically meaning on a per person basis, the wealth in Canada in 2008 was $171,623.75. Now, next question, what was Canada's per capita debt? So we'll take the total debt, which was 23 billion. I think I might have said million last time. It's a bit confusing because this number ended up on two lines there. Divided by the population, so 33,223,840. So the per capita debt was $692.27. And the next question asks us about something called net worth. That also may be a term that you're familiar with, I'm not sure. But net worth is calculated as your total assets or your wealth minus your total liabilities or debt. So we were asked to find Canada's per capita net worth. So in order to calculate that, we are going to subtract the debt from the wealth. So the per capita net worth is found by subtracting the debt from the wealth. So we'll use the answers we just found. We said the per capita wealth is $171,623.75. We will subtract the debt. So the per capita net worth then is $170,931.48. The next statistics calculation we're going to look at is something called percent change. Percent change measures a change in a value over a period of time. So the first example here we're looking at shows us a company's profits for each year of 5 years as reported in a newspaper. So in the first column here we have the year 2005 to 2009, and then the profit as reported by this company below that. And it says calculate the percent change in profit from 2005 to 2006. Now in order to do that, we're going to use this formula on your page, which says percent change is calculated by subtracting the old value from the new value, dividing by the old value, and then multiplying by 100. So let's apply that to this example. So the percent change in this case will be the value in 2006, subtract the value in 2005, divided by the value in 2005, times 100. So looking at our table, we can see the profit in 2006 was reported as $364,000, and in 2005 as $186,000. So divide by 186,000 times 100, which is equal to approximately 95.7%. In other words, there was a 95.7% increase, so this would be a percent increase in the company's profits. Sometimes this number turns out to be a negative, which would indicate that the profits are actually decreasing. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing then to calculate the percent change from 2008 to 2009. So in this case, the percent change, now again, using the formula, I should have pointed this out to you. The formula says new value minus old value. So if we're calculating the percent change from 2008 to 2009, then our new value is the value in 2009. So this will be the value in 2009. Subtract the value in 2008 divided by the value in 2008, so the old value, times 100. So the more recent one would be the new value, and the other one would be the old value. Now in your table, in 2009, it reports that the company actually lost money, so the profit is recorded as a negative value, so negative 22,000, minus the value in 2008, so 212,000, divided by 212,000 times 100. So from 2008 to 2009, our percent change is negative 110.4 approximately percent. So again, since this is a negative number, this represents a percent decrease. So the company's profits fell from 2008 to 2009. The next part of the question says, the company's financial report stated that there was a 200% increase in profits from 2006 to 2007. Is this true? So if you look at your table, from 2006 to 2007, our profits went from 364,000 to 728,000. So we can see from these numbers that the profits actually doubled, but that means a 100% increase, not a 200% increase. So if we were to find the percent change, we would take our new value, so 728,000, subtract the old value, divide by the old value, and multiply by 100, and we would get a 100% change, not a percent increase, not 200%. So that's a common error that you often see in statistics, is when something doubles, it can often be reported as a 200% increase, when in actual fact it's really a 100% increase. So a 100% increase means that something doubled in value. Okay, the next statistical measure we're going to look at is percentiles and percentile ranks. Now these calculations are slightly trickier. First of all, a percentile is a number between 1 and 99 that indicates the percent of a population with a score less than less than or equal to a specific value. And a percentile rank is very similar. It's the percent of the population with a score less than a specific score. So often we hear of percentiles when things like standardized test results are reported, and maybe someone learns that they are in the 85th percentile with their test result. And what that means is that they did the same as or better than 85% of the people who wrote that test. Now, the process to find the percentile rank is just a little bit more involved, but not too difficult. We're going to use this formula here that's given in your notes. And here I've given you a list of what those letters actually represent. So P is the percentile rank, L is the number of scores less than that particular score, E is the number of scores equal to that score, and N is the number of scores in total. So we'll go through an example of using that formula. Here we have a table of scores on a high school math contest ranked from lowest to highest, and we're asked to determine the percentile rank for each score. So the first score we're asked to find the percentile rank for is a score of 14. So if we're interested in a score of 14, that would be right here in our table. Then in our formula, L would be the number of scores less than 14. So that would be all of these scores here. So that would be 7. E is the number of scores equal to 14. And there's only one person that got a score of 14, so that's 1. N is the total number of scores, so that's 12. So now we're going to put that into our formula. P equals L plus 0.5 E divided by N times 100. So we'll plug in those values. 7 plus 0.5 times 1 divided by 12 times 100 gives us 62.5, and when we are dealing with percentiles, we would round that to approximately 63. So therefore, the percentile rank for 14 is 63%. So that tells us that 63% of the people who wrote this contest scored less than 14. And in the second part of this example, we're asked to find the percentile for a score of 11. So in that case, we have, let's use a different color here, we have 3 people who scored 11. So E is going to be 3. We had also 3 people who scored less than 11, so L is also 3 actually, and N would still be 12. So now in our formula, we'll have P equals 3 plus 0.5 times 3 divided by 12 and times 100. So we get 37.5, and again we'll round that to approximately 38. And we'll say therefore a score of 11 is in the 38th percentile, which is just another way of saying that the percentile rank for a score of 11 is 38%. Okay, so just sort of 2 different ways of saying the same thing. Now we're also going to talk about how you find the score that would correspond to a particular percentile. So in other words, what score would you have had to achieve to get in the 75th percentile on this contest? So we're going to look at that next, but I'm going to do that in part 2 of this video. Okay, so please go over to that video now.